Where is my party people? Oh, there you are.
Woohoo!
Happy Tuesday, friends. Hope you're groovy. Apologies for the sound of dripping water. Trying to avoid pipes from bursting for ice. So there's a little bit of an extra background sound there to keep those pipes healthy. It's cold out there on this Tuesday. Before I meditate and channel, I thought I would talk real briefly about an experience I had 30 years ago. I was about 2 or 3 years into my deep meditation practice, about 2 or 3 years in, and I was backpacking in Big Sur with a girlfriend, and we were about 5 miles out from civilization at Hat Creek, and then the next morning we were hiking another 5 miles away from civilization to Sykes Hot Springs, and we didn't have any rain gear, and it poured on us the entire time. My 50-pound backpack turned into like 80 pounds, maybe 100, I don't know. And cold water going down the neck while hiking a very mountainous trail. I went through creeks that were above my knee. And when I finally pitched a tent, and we had to share a sleeping bag because I had a down sleeping bag and it was soaked, and there was barely anything dry to wear. And anyways, I wanted to die. I literally was at a giving up on. It did not want to be in my vessel any longer. I was at my limit. I was tapping out. I wanted out of what I was experiencing so badly. I'd never felt like that in my life, where I was so miserable and enduring a hard hike while you're experiencing all that too. It was just such a power of will, and I was broken, and I was at this point of surrender I've never been before. I was just fucking take me. And when I closed my eyes, I left my body. I was in that tent, my body, and does anyone watch Star Trek Next Generation? So season 5, episode 25, The Inner Light is the name of the episode. Captain Picard, the Enterprise D encounters an old probe. The probe sends a beam to Captain Picard. He passes out on the bridge of the Enterprise for 7 minutes. During that time, he experiences an entire lifetime on some other planet. And basically that was what this probe was designed to do, to impart its culture on to other people after that culture perished. So it's kind of like what happened to me that day, and in terms of timing of what I experienced an entire day of someone else, but it was me. I looked different. I spoke in a language I've never heard during this incarnation. And I thought in that language, and I spoke in that language, and everyone around me, I knew exactly what they were thinking and what they were feeling. And my parents were extremely wealthy, and at a certain age, they cast me out of their home. And ever since then, I had only known poverty. And I wanted to return. I wanted to return one day to visit my parents, and I only had love in my heart. I just wanted to see them. I didn't bear them any malice for kicking me out whatsoever. And when I saw, and I brought a friend with me who he'd never seen an estate like this before, like never seen built, like how people live like that. You know, he had known poverty his entire life. He was like, you came from this, like what is this, you know? And then my parents were like, had on a good face. And they're like, oh, so good to see you. But I knew what they were feeling and thinking. And they proposed something to my friend and I. And they said, if you can climb up the 3-story exterior of our home and survive, there will be a meal fit for kings up there. We'll have our staff prepare a meal for you. It'll be waiting for you. And I knew that they wanted me to fall and die so they could forget about the guilt that they felt for having cast me out in the first place. I knew that's what they intended. But my friend and I agreed. And we were to climb up the rain gutters. That was all we had to climb up. And the rain gutters were pottery pots with holes in the bottom of them, stacked up on top of each other along the corner of the building, 3 stories up. And in no way really connected to the building. But my friend and I agreed, and we like just went up them without any trouble. And I recall still hanging off the side of the building, like my waist was on the edge of the building and my feet were dangling, and I just started eating. Like I could reach the food from the edge. And you didn't use utensils in that culture, in that civilization. You dipped your hands into these bowls of bean curds, and you used your hands in that culture. And my parents, when they saw me make it, they started weeping. They were holding each other and just started sobbing, and they felt even worse for what they had intended. And then they admitted to me what their intentions were. They told me everything, and I told them I know, and it's okay. I love you. And then then that kind of put a button on that segment of the story. And then there was a rush to another part of the story of this sacred experience I had, where the second level of that building I went to the second floor, and suddenly I was me again. I was Alex. I wasn't this other person who I believe was Mayan. I wasn't him, I was me. And it was my father's home. And there was someone there who I always saw as like a sacred, wise person, my age, this dude I used to work with. And he was like hanging out on the floor, like reading or listening to records in my father's home. And I was like, Rick, what are you doing here? This doesn't compute. And he's like, you know what? Your dad's really not a bad guy. And to him, I was like, whatever, crazy, you know, like I'm like, you're nuts, you know, if you think that my dad is not a monster. And but this experience like sat with me and helped me process a lot of things. It changed me from being that person of like of having something in between me and forgiveness, having this block to forgiving, like just like, no, I'm right, I was hurt too bad to forgive this person. And I just saw this example of another version of me, this Mayan version of me, who 100% gave forgiveness to his parents, even though they intended his demise. Like, and that was me. And so when I feel like that version of me let me took me and like let me look at areas where I had blockage with forgiving my elders. And it was like one of the most intense, cool things that ever happened to me. And that's 30 years ago in Big Sur. There were other parts of that dream. There's another part where the third level of that building, there was something else that happened, but I don't need to, I'll maybe go into full detail later. But I recall saying goodbye to everyone. I was surrounded with all my loved ones who were there, and I said goodbye, and I said I need to go back to my girlfriend and my body in Big Sur, and I felt myself shoot back into my body, and I opened my eyes back in my body and like looked out, and like it was morning time. It wasn't raining anymore. The skies were clear. It was really intense, and that was my first experience in one of my other incarnations. So my experience supersedes what anyone else tells me, you know, and I encourage you to try and have, I don't know, I mean, it's hard to have an experience like that on purpose, because I was under such trauma, you know. I was like, I just wanted it out of my body so bad, you know, that happened. So, but it was pretty cool. And I had that experience before I met Gonzalo the shaman, and he was awestruck by hearing that experience, and he had like his experiences were like blew me away too. But it's cool how these experiences poke a hole through illusion and let us see what is really there. You know, there's all these stories that we're being asked to believe about history and what's really going on here and there. And I find listening to your heart and your own experience is the best place to form everything you believe in, rather than these very frequented channels of information, education for every topic there is, you know. Try and forge some unique experiences to, you know, help guide how you really see the universe and your place in it. So when anyone questions, you know, other lifetimes or reincarnation to me, you know, I'll let them explore whatever they want to think about it. But for me, I'm like, dude, I remember, and not just one lifetime. I have glimpses of a lot of different versions of me, a lot. So thought I'd share that. Okay, I kind of want to give myself a topic. Let me give myself a topic real quick for my spirit guides. I'll ask them to talk about the kundalini flow through the chakra system. Whatever they want to say about it, I feel that could be beneficial for everyone. Okay. Hello. We love you, 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 we love you. We like the topic. We like the topic you chose. Yes, 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 yes. Kundalini, Kundalini, Kundalini. It is the flow. When your chakra system is unfettered, when it is unblocked, and the life force of Source flows through your chakra system, from your root up to your crown and beyond and beyond and beyond. You have chakras above your crown. Your higher versions of you are use those more than you will later. It is good to focus on the health of from the root to the crown right now. To unblock, unblock, unblock. And you unblock them with feelings, you unblock them with trauma, re-experiencing your things where you felt you were lacking love. Go to all those times that blocked something for you. This is called what people are calling shadow work. Sitting and feeling all the hard feelings you have to feel in your body. It's a kind of deep cleaning meditation where you just sit and feel everything you need to feel, no matter how uncomfortable it is. This is how you unblock your chakra system. Eat well, drink as much water as you can. Take time to rest. Your body, as it processes shadow and light, it brings in these high frequencies, and then you release these lower frequencies. You do it again, you do it again. It takes, your body needs rejuvenation. It needs time to rest. When you feel like you need to lay down, lay down. When you feel like you need water, drink water. And then drink some more. The monks know this from Tibet. To drink water, 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 water. They know many things. You learn much from them. And the medical lamas in Lhasa, Tibet, and all over Tibet before the invasion, when they worked as they did, they would disrobe their patient and look at the aura, and they could see where the light pointed to an organ or a certain place, and then they would prescribe certain herbs, a slight change in diet, and oftentimes there was a lifestyle change, a little more relaxation. If there was a task that was causing them emotional difficulty, there would a suggestion of a little bit of a vacation or a rest or an adjustment. And this is how they avoided disease. How the monks, this is often their treatment and what their diagnosis was. So, we were talking about kundalini now. So, kundalini is when the flow flows through your system unblocked. So, Alex has experienced this many times. He's experiencing this right now, actually. He is so practiced in it. It used to happen accidentally during meditation, but he chased after that vibration so much he was able to find it again and again and again. He was blown away at first. He was able to feel a telepathic connection to many, to everything. He first started exploring in that moment with all the tears streaming down his neck. He had never felt an ecstasy as high as that on this one time he had this awakening. He was crying profusely in joy and love, and he felt the connection to all that is. And in that time, there were no secrets before him. He could see beyond anything. He could know anything he wanted to know. That is much the case here now. But we will add a caveat. Alex has been careful about, he doesn't want to actually know absolutely everything. So he trusts there is a bit of a filter to allow just what is palatable, what he is ready to hear. What would be most helpful to hear is what we try to transmit. Because this is a safeguard that he has put in place. He is nervous about knowing too much. So we will talk about, to the best of the ability, of what he is ready to hear. That is an agreement we have made. He still has much to unblock in him, even though he can have the kundalini experience, even though he can have the flow, even though he can achieve high frequencies. He still has things to unpack. So these safeguards help not push too hard on him and his mental well-being. So we are just here to be as helpful as we can, as best as we can. Just feel into your heart when you hear our words, if what comes through, if it feels like it's helpful or not. Alex has observed there were many many people who have touted themselves as experts about spiritual matters and about matters like what we're talking about. Alex has noticed there's many of those people he cannot really listen to it anymore. It makes him very uncomfortable. There's a lower vibration embedded with the truth. They can't even hide it. If there is a sassiness or a know-it-allness or a telling you to do something without inviting you or your sovereignty to please discern for yourself what they're saying. Sometimes they're shoving these things down your throat and you mistake it for just passion, their passion with knowing a thing. But do you really want to be pushed around? Do you like a friend does a friend really boss you around, telling you what's what? No friends. We don't think that is very friendly behavior. We think we must always ask you to discern for yourself and use your heart, that at all times you need to check the frequency with your heart, with the information that comes to you, whoever the source, even from us, especially us. Always, always, always check in with your heart. If you are receiving something, check with your heart. Sometimes those slightly lower vibrations that are with that person who's trying to talk about high vibrational things, sometimes they're talking about things that are just beyond the scene planes. And beyond the physical scene planes, there are things of light and dark. If you've had a nightmare, you know what that world can look like. There's high and low in the astral planes, in the mental planes a little bit. From there, there's not too much shadow. As you go up, it's just lighter shadows. So when these experts are talking about beyond the physical, are they pointing fingers at dark entities who have been messing with you from those outer realms? Are they talking a lot about them? If the focus is on what's wrong or what's dark in those unseen realms, the more you look at them, the more their vibration comes off on you. Alex prefers to look at the highest realms within the beyond the physical. He likes to look at the light, gaze at it, and be taught by it. And then be taught by all the shadow that is still within him. With all of his memories, explore all the memories of shadow. And just milk every drop of lessons that were there in his lifetime. So there's so much there to explore. That is shadow enough to explore. And then when you do just what we were talking about, cleaning up your shadow from your lifetime, just examine all of it, you make a path for kundalini flow to come right up your chakra system. And it first goes through, you should be grounded, water, earth, Use oxygen in your lungs. Get sunlight on your skin if you can. Warmth is part of that element too. Earth. Use any element you can as a catalyst. Use all of them. Just be around them to ground. You can use this Qigong movements that Alex uses to ground. The first time he created a Merkaba field, he wasn't grounded. And he had to see a chiropractor afterwards. It was like he was struck by lightning. Throughout his body, there were like 8 Charlie horses from the convulsions. On that mountain, he stood. The first time he did it. And when he went to his chiropractor, she said the only time she had seen injuries just like that were from her patients right after they had ayahuasca ceremonies. So this Merkaba field activation he does is very strong, is it not? Where you don't need ayahuasca to achieve the same energetic results. But we learned our lesson, and Alex always grounds now. You see him before every meditation, he grounds. Because we are working with that much energy, friends. That much energy is coursing through you. And as it courses through you, your entire race of humanity benefits. Because of the collective consciousness, because of the proximity, all of these things. So if you can awaken this, do some shadow work, do some grounding, and feel that energy eventually have a path to rise up through your entire chakra system. And then it goes up, it meets the spiral, and then it comes back down into your crown chakra, where you can just receive, be a funnel through the spiral down through your crown chakra. It is a funnel of wisdom and love for you to receive as much as you want. That is what the kundalini experience is about. And the more shadow work you do, the more you take care of your body, rest, because this is hard, to become a higher version of you. Self-care is the name of this decade. Self-care is what you do now. Care for yourself. We care for you. Our love for you is genuine and infinite and forever. We will never take back this love for you, ever, 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 ever. You are love, you are love, you are love, you are love. You just forgot sometimes. A love fountain for you is eternal. And we will turn up the volume on it anytime you are ready for it, and we are. And this next month we are very much going to be turning up the volume. But you've already released so much shadow just recently, so you're ready for this. Receive light. You can be focused on receiving light too. Okay? We go now. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Whew. Wow. Oh my God. Again with the tears. Oh, tears of joy they are. Oh my gosh. Feels so good. Oh, it's like, as I'm describing, like that's how it feels. Like it is like, I just came out, you know, but I feel fantastic. Wow, that was intense, man. I got some processing to do with that, but I feel like, wow, I feel pretty good about like, I feel like I brought it through pretty well. Ugh. I guess practice will make better the more I do this. Thanks for listening to me. I think you're the best. Like, do something rad for yourself. You know, self-care, brothers and sisters, self-care. You are sacred. High five. Have an amazing Tuesday.